Hello guys, Crispy here, welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm gonna be testing a GeForce RTX 3070 in Black Myth Wukong. This one is the EVGA XC3 Ultra version of the card. We are running it with the latest Nvidia drivers, and I'm not manually overclocking it. You can see all of its specs right here in Tech Power-Ups. GPU Z recessable bar is also enabled there. And over on the left, I'm pairing it with a Ryzen 9 7950X 3D CPU with half of its cores disabled. So it's basically the same as a Ryzen 7 7800X 3D. And on the memory tab, I'm using 32GB of DDR5 6000MHz RAM in dual channel. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's go over the settings first. I am starting at 1080p resolution and I'm using DLSS set to 100%, so it's DLAA and it's native resolution. And I am using Digital Foundry's optimized settings right here. As you can see, guys, this is a pretty smooth experience. 80-something FPS at native 1080p with these settings. Game looks great like this. Obviously, the shadow pop-in is still a very big issue. You can see it rendering in front of me as I walk. Like, that's absolutely crap, actually. But okay, I'm gonna start counting our FPS. Let's tackle the boss. All right, let's go over here. Come on. There we go. Kill the bastard. Kill the bastard. We need to do this. Okay, all right, all right. Oh boy, the FPS are dropping quite a bit right here into the lower 60s, but it's still handling it like a champ, guys. And the 8GB of VRAM in this particular title won't be much of an issue, which is great as well. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Kill the bastard. Kill the Bob. The Bobster. Yes, that's it. Come on. Come on. Heavy attack. No. Okay, I got him. I got it. I got it. I got it. I'm still good. I'm still good. He just keeps transforming into that shadow thingy that I completely hate, actually. My God, I'm low HP. All right, heal, heal. There we go. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Where is he? Okay, he's coming here. I'm fine, guys. We almost got. Oh my gosh, the statue thingy again. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's what I like to do. Come on. Come on. Heavy attack again. Heavy. Stop spitting fire at me. Come on. Heavy attack. The heavy attack sucks, actually. It took very little HP off of him. Oh, no, 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 no! I'm stuck, kind of. No, 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 no. Oh, I'm fine, I'm fine. Heal, heal, heal. I was 1 HP there, guys. I was 1 HP. That was absolutely terrible. Whoa, what is he doing? Where is he? Oh, my God. Come on, stop. That's cheating, dude. That's like hacking for real. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. No, 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 no. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I almost got the statue thing again, guys. Hit him again. Hit the bobsters. Let's go. Almost dead. Yeah. Oh, great start to this one. Holy crap. We did it. Please don't transform into another thing like the previous one. Okay, he's not transforming, I guess. He's just going to another place. Wait. Maybe he's transforming. Okay, no, he's fine. Oh my gosh, that scared me. Okay. This is great, guys. And you know what else is great? The performance of the RTX 3070. It's still capable of running this demanding UE5 title just fine, as long as you utilize optimized settings and the 1080p resolution. And I mean, this was a superb 1440p card back when it came out, so seeing it do well at 1080p is not really that surprising, quite honestly. Although you might actually think this is surprising for a 3070, given how poorly optimized new games are coming out, right? And I just wanted to check this area once again. It's the most intensive one that I've been to yet, and as you can see, it still does dip down into the 50s at times, although it's not going to happen very often. So if you have the 3070, you should be fine. And changing forms to this guy doesn't really hurt our FPS too much, since we're not utilizing hardware unboxed optimized settings. These are the Digital Foundry optimized settings. And they work a little bit better, I guess. I find it very interesting how it's still very hard to beat these normal guys over in this area. Like, am I doing something wrong? I'm not sure. Oh my goodness, look at that, look at that. And they also take a lot of HP off of you and they poison you at the same time. These could be bosses, guys. Like, throw 5 of them at me and I will have a hard time. Yeah, this is a good experience. If you want 60 plus 100% of the time, all you need to do is drop the DLSS to like 67%, and this way you still have a pretty good image out of the game, you know. DLSS doesn't look bad at all in this game, although the other forms of anti-aliasing or upscaling actually do look very, very bad, okay? But this is still very doable in terms of visual fidelity. It's a little bit higher refresh rate, of course, and instead of dropping into the high 50s, it's dropping into like the high 70s, mid 70s in worst case scenarios. So this way it won't drop at all from 60 FPS or even 70 FPS as you saw, and you will be able to achieve a little bit higher refresh rate experience. But there's another way to bump up our FPS without lowering the resolution scale, and that is utilizing FSR frame generation. Now this is FSR 3 in this title, so you actually gotta enable FSR at the same time as FG. If you try to do it with DLSS, it will say that this doesn't support DLSS frame generation, which is only a 40 series feature, of course. So let's just enable FSR on 100% here. It will look more pixelated than DLSS or DLAA, you know. Even DLSS quality looks less pixelated than this and less noisy. But now we're above 100 frames per second in this area, and I'm just gonna go back to that bamboo forest as well to show you the worst case scenario. But this should be now a high refresh rate experience all of the time, I think, with some drops maybe into the 90s or so, which will still feel very, very good in terms of input lag. This game is very playable with frame generation and the input lag of frame generation at like 70 plus frames per second. If you drop from 70, then you can start noticing a lot of that input lag, and it will hurt your experience slightly. But here, I don't think it's an issue whatsoever, and I would be totally fine with this. So if you require a little bit higher FPS, worst case scenarios gets 90s, and probably on average in other areas and stuff, especially that first area where we've been to, which is less intensive, it will probably reach like 120, 130 frames per second for a high refresh rate experience. I think I would probably stick to the native DLAA setting and these optimized settings at the same time, since it only dips down from 60 FPS slightly in worst case scenarios, and most of the time it's between like 70 to 90 frames, which is still plenty smooth for this title here. Anyway, let's test some 1440p. For that, I'll need to restart the game and select it in the desktop, because the game doesn't have a full screen mode. And here we go, I'm back to it at 1440p resolution using DLSS set to 100% and the same settings from Digital Foundry. And well, here is where the RTX 3070 starts struggling. Kind of expected, right, since it was in the 60s and 70s in this particular area previously at 1080p resolution. So yeah, of course at 1440p being a UE5 title, 3070 struggles a little bit. Although it's not because of the VRAM. A lot of people probably thought, yeah, the 8GB is what's making the 3070 struggle here in this title. In this particular one, 8 gigs is absolutely fine even for 4K gaming, as long as you don't max out the textures, and here they are on very high, not on the maximum setting, which is cinematic. Anyway, this is a decent experience overall still, if you don't mind dropping from 60 FPS. I'm also using G-Sync here, so it doesn't have screen tearing or anything, and it still feels okay. Although, after playing with 60 plus FPS, yeah, I'm missing that smoothness right now, guys, and it will make a little bit of a difference, I guess, when you're fighting the bosses and so on. Now, granted, this is also one of the most intensive areas, so dropping into the low 50s, maybe high 40s, is not the end of the world. That means that in other areas it will probably be in the 60s, 70s, well, 70s in best case scenarios, I guess, but it will likely get a 60 FPS average, at least in these initial parts of the game in the forest biome. I have also seen some people in the comments saying that the game gets harder to run in the next sections that aren't the forest area anymore. I haven't really gotten there. I'm not sure if I will, to be honest, because the game is very hard. Just keep that in mind. I'm not sure if it will drop too much from what we saw in that forest, you know, the bamboo forest. That's very very intensive. But yeah, it will likely drop a little bit more later on into the game, which is not the end of the world still. Anyway, I'm gonna stop it there, guys. 60 FPS average, as I told you, very decent. It is not amazing in terms of smoothness, but it's definitely a playable experience like this. Now, I think you should definitely utilize 67% resolution scale, which is quality DLSS here at 1440p, because look at that. Now, instead of getting 60 FPS, we're getting 80s. That is way smoother, obviously, especially on a high refresh rate panel. You will feel the extra frames, even though you're not maxing out 120 Hz or 144 Hz. It's noticeable, all right? And I would totally play like this. Like, in terms of the visuals, it doesn't look too different from native 1440p with DLAA. Maybe it's slightly over-sharpened now, but there's no noise. There's very good detail everywhere still. It's fantastic. There's no ghosting either. I like it, guys. I would totally play like this. Hello there. All right, kill the bastard. Kill the bastard. Stop. Hit. Oh, there's another one. Okay. He's hitting me with a bow and arrow. Let's go. All right. Wait a second. Wait. These guys are very annoying with the arrows, you know. Anyway. Oh, there's two of them. Seriously. Stop it. Look at that. There we go. Look at the view here. Nice looking. Look at how many arrows are stuck to me. Okay, they're gone now. All right, let's keep on going. 70. So it seems like this area over here gets a little bit more intensive. Oh yeah, you know what? Maybe I should just do this and move away from here. Yeah, that's the best thing. Here we go. Just progressing into the game. Look at that sunset. Looking great. Oh, hello there. You're a big guy, aren't you? Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, I'm gonna heal myself. I couldn't heal myself because they just don't stop shooting at me. I wish I had a machine gun in this game. That would be so nice. Okay, now I'm back to the snake trail over here. More intensive area, and it is dropping into the 60s, as you can see. So it's not as smooth of an experience as it was previously. But I really hope it doesn't drop from 60 FPS. If it does, I hope it is to like the high 50s. That way it doesn't really bother me much in a third-person game like this. Again, it's only in worst-case scenarios where it's going to drop. And I think it's a pretty stable experience overall. It's getting 57 right there with the fire effect. So this fiery boy is still a little bit more intensive than just a monkey guy, you know. 56, 58. It still drops slightly, the FPS, whenever I change forms as well. That's why it dropped into the mid-50s there. But yeah, overall, again, it's only going to drop slightly from 60 FPS. If you overclock the card, it shouldn't really drop at all, because it will get like 2 more FPS or 3 more FPS, and that's enough to put us above 60 100% of the time. So I think it's a stable, good experience here with DLSS quality at 1440p, and I would definitely go with the settings to play at this resolution. Now, let's do 4K. Okay, this is it, 3840 by 2160, DLSS set to 100% at the time, and still with the optimized settings. And as you can see in the snake trail path over here, bamboo forest or close to it, it's already dropping into the 20s, but not by too much. With DLSS, it might actually stay above 30 all of the time, and this is a game that some people consider playable at 30 FPS, especially with a controller, for example. So I think with DLSS quality, you'll still have that 4K gaming experience, very crisp visuals, you know. It looked great at 1440p, so of course it will look great at 4K as well. And yeah, it shouldn't really drop from 30 FPS like we're seeing it happen right now. So I'm gonna stop it right there, okay, and I'm gonna drop this down to 67%. Do keep in mind that even 50% looks great here at 4K resolution, and that's what's recommended by Nvidia, actually, even on high-end 40 series cards for this game, although that's with ray tracing. But yeah, let's do quality first, run around here for a little bit just to see the FPS. I don't think a lot of people are playing with the RTX 3070 at 4K, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time here testing it. I'm just going to run around this area, which is intensive, show you the FPS for a while, and As you can see, it's not even dropping from 40 frames per second at this point, and it's capable of delivering that 4K visual experience. DLSS quality at 4K, especially in this game, looks super crisp, and it kind of looks like native resolution. I can't really tell it much apart from DLEA at 100% resolution scaling. So if you have like a 4K monitor or a 4K TV and an RTX 3070, and this card was actually pretty decent for 4K gaming when it came out, you can still play Wukong with optimized settings. As you can see, it will run. It's not the smoothest thing in the world, of course, and I would much rather drop the resolution to 1440p because it still looks good, and it gets 60 plus with DLSS quality especially. But yeah, if you're all about that resolution, it works absolutely fine. And if you turn it down to like medium settings, for example, it will work even better, of course, and it will possibly get like 60 plus most of the time at least. But the thing is, medium settings do look quite a lot worse than this, so I wouldn't really do it, especially if you want 4K visuals, because if you play at 4K, you probably care about graphics quality, right? So I'm gonna drop this down to 50%, keep everything the same down here, optimized settings. Ah, it's so close, guys. It's so close. If this game had FSR 3.1, we would be capable of using frame generation with DLSS, and that would definitely be the way to go here with performance DLSS at the same time at 4K res. That would be sick. Still, it gets 60 FPS average, I guess, up into the 70s at times, and it only drops into the mid to low 50s. So it's not the end of the world. It's still a very playable experience. It will slow down, and it will noticeably slow down in some scenarios, like here. But in other areas of the game, it'll go up to the 60s and even 70s probably at times. Let me see here in this little tight corridor. Yep, there we go, 75, 77. Anyways, that's about it for 4K resolution. I could test some FSR, but again, it just ends up looking worse. And especially if you need to drop it down to 50% scaling to use that frame generation on top of it. Yeah, look at that. Look at the amount of ghosting and noise around the character now. It is really bad looking, okay? So, although the FPS are very high at the moment, I wouldn't really do this because the visuals get way too low. Let's go back to DLSS 100%, and I'm gonna go back to 1080p to test out full ray tracing here. I'm gonna set it to medium, which looks better than low, and it performs a little bit worse, but it's not a night and day difference basically. And let's restart the game now as well. Here we go, back to it. 1080p resolution, DLSS 100%, full ray tracing is on medium now, and we're still using the optimized settings. And as you can see, yep, forget ray tracing, guys. It's a much better experience without it, obviously. It drops a lot from 30 FPS. We aren't even in the big forest yet, and it's already dipping down into the 20s sometimes. So, don't do this, okay? I would not recommend you to use ray tracing. Maybe with some DLSS it will be possible to play like that, you know? Let's use 67% right here. Maybe with ray tracing on low as well. But yeah, either way, it's a subpar experience with an RTX 3070. If you really want RT, you should probably go for like a 4070 Super or higher tier in this particular title, because RT in this one is extremely intensive, okay? Dropping down into the 40s right now. DLSS makes a huge difference. I wasn't expecting it to bump up our FPS by like 20 frames, given that the base FPS were 30, right? That's a big improvement there, but just a par experience once again. And lastly, let's use DLSS 66% or 67%, same thing, and the ray tracing on low instead, and let's see how it performs. It's kind of the same. I'm going to restart the game just to make sure, but I don't think it will make a difference, guys. Here we go again. Low ray tracing still looks very good, aside from the water, which is super low quality compared to medium ray tracing and the maximum ray tracing as well. this is also a bit more pixelated now with RT on than it was without RT, even at 1080p with DLSS quality, you know. And now we're reaching 60 FPS at times, which is not terrible. But again, like, you're trading the resolution, you're trading the FPS as well. It's still below 60, as you can see right now. Like, it's very similar in FPS compared to medium ray tracing, as I told you as well. So I don't see the point, really. I mean, I see that it looks way better in terms of that shadow quality. It has no problems with render distance of shadows now. So if you care about that a lot, sure, running ray tracing might be for you, even on a 3070 here. But again, you gotta make all of those sacrifices. And that's been it for this one, guys. Speaking of the water, by the way, yeah, it's not as good looking as it was with other ray tracing settings, but it's a minor thing anyways. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one very soon. As always, love you all. Bye-bye.